how India's current situation will impact Sri Lanka.
He looked a little bit similar to Saurav Ganguly in his stance with bulky pads and
This time, we will have new sensation of batsman from South Africa.
Against Aiden Markram. So mainly the delivery, which is going to be pitched in the good length and turning away from him. Hi everyone, welcome to RnP Cricket Insights, yet another episode. So today is a very special day. I think we are joined by one of our fans, Cham Vijay. Welcome, Chams, to our program. And Rakita, as usual. So you're also joining with us, and Cham is one of Rakita's friends, as I got to know, and also said to be a good cricket fanatic. So how are you guys?
yeah, thanks, Prasad. Thanks for having me for the first time. And then, like I said, I met some time ago, Prakita, and then we were cricket maniacs from the day one we met. And then, so I saw you guys started this podcast, so that's why I'm keen on this subject. So yeah, I'm happy to
Yeah,
discuss anything.
exactly. Yeah. So I think we look forward to have you whenever you can, so you can share your views with us
Yeah.
as well going forward. So Rakita, I think you're also doing good.
Yeah,
Also,
Prasad.
how's the
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah, it's a great weekend. So I'm following this Border Gavaskar test series. So it's coming to an exciting point at the moment. So looking forward to have a great week ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So as usual, we look forward to cover some of the international cricket, and in fact, some major international cricket in today's episode as well. So as you know that India and Australia series, like Rakita said, so that's ongoing at the minute, and also West Indies and Bangladesh too. So we are going to have a touch upon on that one, and then most importantly, Sri Lanka versus South Africa. So Sri Lanka team has already arrived to South Africa, and so that is to be started on 27th of November, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, lot to discuss on that one as well today, and also as usual, so we are going to have another two segments in this episode. The one is the champions blind spot, which we introduced in the last time around. So we are going to discuss on weak link of one of the players today, and also in the rookie on the blocks. So we are going to bring you a new cricket champ for Sri Lankan cricket. This time around it will be Nipun Dananjaya. So stick around. Welcome back, guys, to our next episode, which is Around the World in Cricket. So like we said, there are three test matches ongoing, and in fact two, and one to be started in the next week, Sri Lanka versus South Africa. So before going to that series, as we said, India versus Australia, first test is ongoing, and that is a very, very crucial test match and a test series as far as Sri Lankan cricket is concerned as well. Why? Because Sri Lanka is a very, very good contender when it comes to the World Test Championship final. So these two teams, India and Australia, are the real challenges for Sri Lanka. So this series will decide who will be booking a seat or a slot in the final. So the match got started 2 days ago. So by this time when we are recording, so third day has been stumped, and India did have a kind of a vulnerable start, I would say, in the first day at the Waka Perth, but then I think they bounced back really well in their second innings, and at the same time, they did bowl really well during their first innings as well. So I think they did have a very good start as far as the third day is concerned when it comes to the current situation of the Test match. So it was kind of a very interesting match so far because as we know, always Waka Perth is normally assisting the fast bowlers, the pacers with some bounce and pace, but we have hardly seen some the swing in terms of the history of Waka chess. But this time around it was not the case in the first day. It was moving in both ways, and batsmen had no answers at all. So Rakita, so I would like to discuss with you first up. So how do you see the Indian start to this tournament? And as well as I think this is going to be very crucial for Sri Lanka. So how India's current situation will impact Sri Lanka to play their the World Test Championship final if they
Yeah,
play their next games as well very well.
yeah, yeah, Prasad. So I think I have highlighted that Indian players will bounce back really well. Once they have put on to, they were down. They always kept coming at very hard. So you remember in the last tour of Australia also, they were bowled out for 36 in the first test match, and then they finally won the test series. So likewise now coming into this series, they were really on the floor. They were 3-0 down to New Zealand at home. But see how the response is. I think now they are having the upper hand of the series, and the way they fought back from the first ball itself. I mean, even though they have bowled out for uh, uh, 150 in the first innings, they bowled their heart out and uh, bowled out the Australians for only 104 runs. So I think the way they have batted in the second innings actually determined the uh, 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 fate of this test match. How the Jaiswal and Rahul played applied the defensive uh, uh, play for the Australian attack, and then slowly and surely they have attacked them out of. I mean, they make them tired and get the runs freely at last, and now they are really. It's up to them to lose now, and Australia is really having a horrible start in the second innings as well. So I think that 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 shows how the Indian fast bowling unit is developed over the years in the last decade. I think that's the main highlight I can point out, because we saw actually how they struggled against the spin even at their home, and see how they are playing against the quality pace bowlers in outside the uh, Indian soil, and even in Australia. Probably the fastest track you would have in a test match in the world in at Perth, Becca. And I think they played really well for the fast bowlers, and they bowled really well. I think the uh, emergence of the captain Jasprit Bumrah. Now I think we can consider him as the we actually lucky to have a kind of a bowler, all format bowler in our lifetime, who's having a great stats. I mean, great stats over all these formats, not only in test. He has phenomenal record in ODI and T20 as well. I think he's now playing his cards well, and he has all the weapons to win this series for India. So I think now it's up to India to lose, and I think probably Australia will find a way to get back to the tournament in the second test. But it already Indians have damaged the confidence of Australia. So it's a bit hard to come back in the tournament. But let's see. We all need to have a. All want to have a nice hard fought test series. To that. ultimately that's what we want.
Yeah.
From Sri Lankan aspect, I think the victory for India will keep our chances still alive, because even 3-2 series win for Australia, we will still have a chance. I mean, we still it's early to say who will go to the finals by the end of the first test match, but we have to see how the series is going, and which way the pendulum is moving. And still, I think from our perspective, from Sri Lanka's point of view, it's up to Sri Lanka to play and win the matches, remaining matches. That's all we need, and regardless of what the other teams are, it's up to Sri Lanka to determine. I mean, to play into their potential and win all the matches remaining. So that's the only thing as Sri Lankans we can think of at the moment. But in the meantime, we can see what are the results that we can get from India and Australia Test series, and still too early to call, Prasad. But for India, they need to have a 4-0 victory in this series. Then they will definitely go to the finals of World Test Championship. That's guaranteed. But for us, let's wait and see what we can do against South Africa. Yeah,
Yeah.
Prasad.
Yeah, point is taken. Yeah. So of course, I mean, in order to stay alive, so India have to win all four, otherwise they will be ruled out. But yeah, and so the bottom line is that Sri Lanka got to
They're
win
still
all
not
the
ruled
matches.
out. Yeah, yeah. Even if they didn't win 4-0, they still have a chance. I mean, the place will be guaranteed if they win 4-0.
Yeah.
So it's not like they are out of the contention. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The probability wise, yes. So they
yeah,
will
yeah.
have less chances. Yeah. So I think then I mean, during your answer, so you did highlight a lot about Indian bowling. Uh, yeah. So that's correct, and also I think we can't forget about the condition that was assisting really well for the bowlers. So I think both the teams, equally did on the first day as far as the bowlers are concerned. So. But as a subcontinent bowler, yeah. So we always have to, admire the bowling of Jasprit Bumrah as well as his, supporting bowlers. But for me, is the critical factor in their response with the bat in the second innings was this, youngster. So everybody has been talking about him. I mean, Jaiswal, Yashasvi Jaiswal. So this bloke came into the picture in early stage as a T20 player. And in fact, he has a very, very good record in T20 where that, I think he's striking at 160 odd in T20s. So when it comes to test in first class also, he's currently maintaining around 60 odd average, and he's having a completely different scenario or kind of a way of batting when it comes to test cricket as opposed to what he's doing in T20. So, Chamika, so I'm coming to you. So, how do you see about this bloke? I mean, I know that he has a lot to deliver and he has a lot to show for the world cricket in the time to come. So, how do you see his adjustments? Particularly in different conditions in Test, because we saw that he played really well. Down there in Caribbean and also in Asia and also now in Australia. And also I want to know from you how he has been smartly shifting his gears in different formats, and he has been dominating against all the bowlers in the world up to this point in time.
Yeah, talking about Jaiswal is it's fabulous, isn't it? And the one thing that blow my mind is like he's not intimidated with the wicket or the country he's playing. He just go for his shots, and he got a tremendous conversion rate. And if I'm not wrong, on his first class records, I think he got the best record, best conversion record from 50s to 100, even better than Bradman. So and I noticed this guy when he played for under-19 World Cup in South Africa. And from that moment, even media was telling like this will be a guy who will play for India. And then he was showing that instincts. And then from there, then he got picked to IPL and then so on. So he made a good, clear path where he's now. And he's going from strength to strength. So, and even the recent series that was concluded in India, even though India lost the series, he was the best batsman of India, and he's the one who scored. And he can scores heavily against the pace attack, as you saw with Australia, and also he can dominate spinners. And then he looked a little bit similar to Saurav Ganguly in his stance with bulky pads and long sleeves. And
a left-hander, in fact,
yeah, he looked quite similar in stance, stand tall, and yeah, there's plenty of things for the people to like. But my the main thing that I see on him is he's still 22, and then he takes quite a big responsibility. And then once you hit 100, and most of the time now he hasn't stopped just there. He continued to score, and he scores big. So that's quite important on the team, like on the team scorecard. Once you get something going, just finish it off. So I think he's a tremendous asset to Indian cricket at the moment. And then also touching on Rakita's view on the WTC table, I think Sri Lanka just has to focus on themselves. Just don't worry about what's happening on the other teams, because it's a maniac at the moment. There's 5 teams having quite realistic possibility to make the finals, and Sri Lanka just have to see what they have in front. They have to win the matches with South Africa, and then come back and then play against Australia, try to win those 2 matches. I think we have the capability to win those 2 matches. But it's very important, these 2 matches against South Africa as well. So yeah, in the whole context of World Test Championship table, I think it's very disoriented, I would say. And then there's so many possibilities what can happen. But again, like I said about Jaiswal, he's quite tremendous. And also on touch point of Nitish Reddy, so he's a debut, and then I saw his batting, like he didn't seem like a debut, like even today, like he flicked for a 6 over the leg side, and then like some of the shots he played on, even on the first innings when they have been under the pump. But yeah, I think he's going to be a good batsman for overseas conditions, especially for India as well. So when Jadeja and Ashwin comes back, and then he would be a good replacement. He could be something similar to Hardik Pandya in Test cricket.
Yeah, exactly. I think someone to debut for India in Australia against Australia, so then you got to have some special talent. Otherwise, you can't play amongst that 11 at all. So I think so a lot to see from these youngsters. I think they are showcasing their talent even in the very early stage. But I think they will be dominating the world cricket in time to come. Thanks on those.
And the other thing is, we were talking about the winning margins. So Rakita was saying, like, if India wins 3-2, so we will still have a possibility. But Australia's best chance is to win against India is in Perth and Brisbane. So those are the 2 bouncy wickets. And when you go to Adelaide, that would be a spinning wicket. Sydney is a spinning wicket, and Melbourne, with the crowd support, it can be a wicket that could favor India as well. So having coming behind on this game is going to cost Australia massively. It's like the um, New Zealand India series. Like once they lost to New Zealand in Bangalore, the momentum kicks off, and then the visitors thinks like, all right, we have the confidence we can beat them at home, and then that just kicks off. So it'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen in this series.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good
Exactly,
point.
same
Yeah.
thing happened in 2019, no? Yeah, against Sri Lanka versus South Africa, also the same thing happened. Now,
Yeah.
at that point, it was the first instance of such a turnaround from a visiting team. Now it's become a kind of a pattern, right? So we are in a threat that if it continues in the next Sri Lanka versus Australia tour as well. So it will be it will not be a good sign for Sri Lanka. So we'll have to guard against our complacency.
Yeah, that's what's happening recently. Like
Mm.
a lot of home teams take their home advantage. Like if visitors can get through the first match, if they can pull up a win, so that's gonna boost their morale quite intensely. Like then that's what happened to New Zealand. So once they won in Bangalore, that just dragged on to Pune, and then they finish it on Mumbai. So hopefully that would happen for us in Durban.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I mean,
that's it.
yeah, correct. I mean, because normally what happens is that so then the A game doesn't work all of a sudden for the home team. So then they try to search some new ways. So then they are automatically in trouble and in under the pump, like you said, all of a sudden. So yeah. So let's see. I mean, very good cricket is being played around the world. So I think at the same time, so there's another game with regards to the World Test Championship is being played down there in Caribbean. West Indies versus Bangladesh. So we are not going to discuss about that one in detail because I mean that's early days of that series. Um, uh, at the minute, West Indies looks to be dominating. So they hit a massive score and they put up a wonderful total in the first innings. But let's see how it goes because Bangladesh, we can't underestimate them at all, particularly in West Indies. But the highlighting factor for me is that, and what I don't understand is that why West Indies board has sent Shefren Rutherford to play the T10, while this test series is ongoing, because to me, he looked to be the technician in that team, the guy who can handle the spin really well. But unfortunately, so West Indies cricket board is having other ideas. So yeah, so let's see how it goes. So that's a very good test series, but I don't think that any of these two teams has any chances to reach to the World Test Championship final. So with that, I think the next biggest topic of the day would be Sri Lanka versus South Africa. We have already, highlighted some points with regards to that one. So Sri Lanka toured, South Africa 2019. So everybody's talking about that memories. But I think we have to think in a different way and different perspective this time around. Why I'm saying that? Because last time around Sri Lanka did tour South Africa in February and March.
2020.
That was the late summer of Durban and Port Elizabeth. I mean, whereas Kimberley kind of places, where I mean, they do have the the late summer, or I mean, high temperatures these days. But when it comes to Durban and PA, the temperature is very, very. I mean, early, or in other words, maybe I mean, very early summer these days, as opposed to what it was in 2019, where it was like 30 degrees. I mean, Sri Lanka won that series easily. So that is something that we should keep in mind, because as I check in Durban, the temperatures would be early 20s in the first 4 days, and it will go up to 28 only in the fifth day of the test match. But then I think the results could have been decided by the fifth day. So with that in mind, so Rakit, I think we have sent a very good squad to South Africa in Sri Lanka perspective. So for As per your thoughts, so who will be challenging, Sri Lanka in terms of their batting? I mean, in the South African perspective, who are the batters to be watch out for? In other words.
Yeah, Prasad. So comparatively, this time around, South Africa is having kind of a less experienced team from the batting perspective. Last time also, even all the times that we have toured, we have encountered many great batsmen in their lineup. Now, this time, for a difference, we will have new sensation of batsmen from South Africa, but they will come up to the higher ranks one day. But that inexperience might be be an advantage for Sri Lankan team, but still we can't deny the potential of Tony D'Souza and Tristan Stubbs, who both have scored their first Test centuries in the recent Bangladesh tour, and the experienced duo of Markram and Baumer. Baumer is actually very inconsistent performer in Test matches. He has a good ODI records, but he's still, even though he's the captain, he's still didn't show his real potential in the Test arena. But Markram is a real threat for Sri Lanka. He's always getting runs against our spinners, and he knows how to handle our spinners mainly, and he's good at facing the pace bowlers as well. So Markram is definitely a threat. We need to remove him as soon as possible. And with the retirement of Quinton de Kock, now we can see Kyle Berry, who's gaining experience and now playing, now actually holding the lower middle order together for South African batting perspective, and along with Vian Mulder. I highlighted him as well in the last episode. He's another all-rounder that South Africa is always producing great all-rounders. Now he's again trying to improve his game into batting as well. He's now in a good batting form, and he will be another threat. So down the line, they have good batsmen, and they are actually familiar with their form condition, and they will definitely play to their potential due to the recent experience that they got playing against Bangladesh. So they will they know how to play the spinners now. And from our end, from Sri Lanka's point of view, I think it's matter of who's handling the spinners well from batting perspective for South Africa. But let's see. We still don't know what kind of pitches they will prepare. Mainly Durban and Port Elizabeth, kind of spin-friendly tracks, but we don't know actually what will be the actual preparation for the pitches. But it all matters with how our spinners bowl to them and how they handle our spinners. But let's not forget we have a good bowling pace bowling lineup as well. So like quite similar to India now, Sri Lanka is also keep improving their fast bowling depth as well. Now we have a good set of bowlers for each formats, and Test also we have a good bowling lineup. And with that, I think I'll ask Cham. So what would you think? What is the base options we can go for in this Test series, mainly for the first Test and so on?
Yeah,
Cham?
so to begin with, I believe assume it would be a 7-4 combination. So if it's a 7-4 combination, I think we will play like 3 genuine bowlers and then 1 all-rounder. So out of those 3 bowlers, I would say 2 fast bowlers. And it's a tough one. At the moment, based on the recent performance, I would pick Lahiru Kumar over Vishwa Fernando and Kasun Rajatha. And definitely Asita Fernando will be there. But because there's so many right-hand batsmen playing for South Africa, it could be beneficial if we play Vishwa Fernando, but I'm not 100% sure how Vishwa is going to perform now. And then I'm not sure how well he has performed lately. If he was on his peak, I would use Vishwa over Lahiru. But at the given situation, I would choose Asita Fernando and Lahiru Kumara. And then also I think Milan will play as the all-round as well. And then we had to play as spinner. So in terms of spinner, I would say we will give Prabath Jayasuriya a go because he's close to a milestone, like we all know. And then he got better records at the moment. I know he's mainly he has done well in Sri Lanka, but he has on and off he has done well outside Sri Lanka as well. So hopefully he might be able to do well in Durban. And we all know Durban can be a spinning friendly wicket on especially day 4 and 5. So if he can drag the game up to day 4 and 5, we might have more chance of winning this match. And yeah, so I assume they will play Asita Fernando and Lahir Kumar as the bases. Any thoughts from Prasad?
And I think
Yeah.
from Prabath's point of view, Prabath needs another 3 wickets in the next test to become the fastest bowler to reach 100 test wickets from the left armers. Currently, Alf Valentine and Colin Blipp both played 19 matches to reach the 100 wickets, test wickets.
Yeah.
But it will be a world record for him if he took 3 wickets in the next test. It's not the fastest to reach the 100 wickets. It's already gone. If he actually reach
could have done
that
it in the last
target
test,
in
right?
the 17th test, then he'll become the second fastest to take 100 test wickets along with 4 others: Sydney Barnes, Larry Grimmett, Yasir Shah, and Charles Turner. So that's keeping aside that record, he will be the first, fastest left armer to reach 100 test wickets if he could take 3 wickets.
Yeah, that'd be a huge milestone for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So
and
I think we can. Yeah, I think Jam has some thoughts from me as well. So I think I can quickly let you know the 11 that we would think to be playing in Durban. So before that, I would like to add one more batsman that who can challenge us from South Africa perspective, Rakita. I think we have forgotten David Bedingham. So David Bedingham did play really well against Nishan Peris as well, and he went after him. So he hit a wonderful 100, if I'm not mistaken, in Kimberley last month or so. So he became the emerging best batsman also in 2024 South Africa award ceremony. Also, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's a batsman to watch out for because he's, good in using the feeds against Spain because he's averaging around 50 odd in first class cricket at the minute. So much better than anybody else in that lineup. But early stage of him in the test career, so he's yet to showcase his talent. But yeah, he can erupt at any time. So with that, yeah. So I think when it comes to the 11, so I think we can't at all carry away with what happened in 2019, because I mentioned already that the conditions would be completely different, because this is early summer as opposed to the late summer in last time around. So because we have not been provided any of the central South African venues like Bloemfontein or Kimberley or any of those, because I mean those parts are having at the moment around 30 degrees, which is very much friendlier for the spinners. But this
Swinging.
time around, yeah, swing. This time around, I think it is early summer here, so definitely it will be assisting for the pace bowlers as well as for the swing bowlers. So with that in mind, so I'll start with the bowlers. So like Cham said, so definitely we'll go for three paces. One would be pace all-rounder out of those three. So I think, I mean, we can't drop Milan Ratnayaka at all. So Milan Ratnayaka will be playing at number 8, I would say. And then number 9 would be Prabath Jayasuriya, because we have to give him a go, because we can't test a new one, or the guy who is going to come back to the side. I mean, Lasith Buldenia. So we can't give him a straightaway chance. So number 9 would be Prabath, and then Asita and Lahiru. So I'm agreeing with you, because we can't give a go to Vishwa straight away, because we did see him struggling against right-handers, particularly because he was trying to bowl leg side rather than being in the offside.
Yeah, it's
Where
a bit of a gamble, isn't it? Like
yeah,
let's say if he's in peak of his performance, I've
mm,
seen what he has done in previous tours with Amla, but if he can produce those kind of deliveries, that would be really good. But the the doubt you have in mind, that's
yeah,
what's gonna
But
yeah,
I'm
that's gonna
afraid
guide
that
this one.
that they would go they would drop Asita for Vishwa in any case. So
yeah,
that will be a
unlikely.
huge
No,
call. Yeah,
No,
it's very
unlikely.
it's
unlikely,
it's
but
it's highly unlikely.
Yeah,
Asita at
unlikely,
the
but
moment he looked like Vernon Philander.
yeah.
yeah.
This
I
That's
cuts
agree.
in and the ball is similar build and then similar pace. I think his pace and swing will be perfect for South African kind of wickets.
so
Exactly.
any soil. I think he's any pitch he's performing well. No, it's not
Yeah.
like
So
he's performing only in. But that's the only threat I have. So I think if somebody brings in this 2019 memories and saying that the Vishwa is better than
yeah,
Asita and keeping Lahiru due to his pace and the consistency he has shown in the recent tests.
exactly.
So this
That's
it
what I
will
said.
be
I mean,
a
we can't
huge
we can't
call.
carry away with 2019, because it's a completely different
Yeah,
whole game. And even we didn't have
yes.
Chandimal back then in that 11, if I'm not mistaken. So
Hmm.
he's in a
Mm.
prime form at the minute as
But
well.
what do you think about the bowling option? I mean, spinning bowling option. Nishan Paris, I think he has the height and he has the way to get the bounce from the track rather than
Yeah,
Prabath.
correct. I mean, all those attributes are there, but if the conditions was supporting the spin, I would have gone with 2. I mean, I would have let Nishan to be on the bench, and then put Nishan Paris. But this time around, I wouldn't be going with him. I mean, we can't have two spinners, so I think definitely DDS can chip in with some spin.
Mm.
Angelo also can bowl if needed.
Yeah, Rakita. I mean, that should have been an option a few years back, but I don't think that that is an option at the minute, because we have to play at least 4 test matches in this league, even though we are in a box seat at the moment. So we can't take a risk at all by letting Angelo to bowl. So definitely we will not go for that option. So yeah, so due to that reason, so in my 11, so there will be 4 bowlers by considering the conditions that would be there in Durban in the next week. So Milan Ratnayaka, Prabath Jayasuriya, Asita, and Lahiru Kumar. So so then I think only 7 slots are available. So I think those 7 slots are fixed. Anybody can say that one. Dimuth, Pathum, Chandimal, Angelo Matthews, Kamudu Mendes, DDS, and Kusal Mendes. So I think Kusal, I mean, we can expect a lot from Kusal Mendes for sure at number 7 as opposed to number 3. So those swing or whatever the things that can go against him will be diminished by that time. So I think he has the luxury to play his own game at number 7 if we have laid a good foundation. So that would be the 11. So any thoughts from you guys before we wrap up this segment on that?
Yeah, about the Dimuth Karunarathne's form, I'm a bit concerned. So he didn't have a great time in England, and then we got Oshada and Sadira as backup players. So what are your thoughts trying one of them if he fails on this match?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a major issue for Sri Lankan cricket. At the moment, I don't think that we have good options, right, Rakita, to replace him because Nishan
Yeah,
Malishka is not a part of this series or the squad at all.
yeah. I think for opening a slot, I think they are quite guaranteed that they will play Dimuth for both the matches,
Yeah,
regardless of what happened. I think that's their thinking. Otherwise, Oshada will be an option since he has opened before as well. But
Mm.
I highly doubt
yeah,
they choose
yeah.
that option.
We
So
will.
Oshada is there as a backup player for Chandi or Kusal Mendes?
I think
I think
he,
Sadira is a backup player for Kusal, is it? Because it's a
yeah.
Rizal,
keeper.
Yeah, Oshad is there to replace anybody from the top three, I would say. One, two,
Okay.
three. So he can fit
yeah,
into any
yeah.
of those slots.
Hmm.
Chandimal, because Chandimal will not be considered as a wicket keeper these days in Test cricket.
Mm.
He's a genuine batsman. So yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I think we can ask our viewers to comment. If they do have any other ideas in terms of the 11 that will be playing in the next week. So we can, decide later on the 11 for the PA test match. So this is too early to decide anything because we don't know the conditions as well as the weather forecast within a 1.5 weeks time. So we can discuss that one probably the next episode. So with that, I think we can conclude this segment and then we can quickly go and come back with our next segment, which is the Champions Blind Spot. Welcome back, guys. Our next segment, which is Champions Blind Spot. So as you know, we did discuss about Joe Root last time around. He's a world-class player. So normally we thought of consider about world-class players because normally they don't have a lot of weak points. So they have a distinguished weak points which we can highlight and discuss like we did the last time around. But today we thought of picking a player who will be bit ideal for Sri Lankan Test series, which is going to be started in next week. So with that in mind, so we picked Aiden Markram, the versatile batsman from South Africa. He's currently averaging 30 odds in Test as well as in ODIs, but he's an impact player and on his day he can take the game away from the opposition. So there's no hesitation of that. So that's the whole reason why we decided to pick him today. When it comes to his dismisses also, there's no any specific thing to be highlighted, but when we analyze his full dismissal set, we can see a kind of a drawback or a downfall of him against the spin. So when it comes to spin also, I think he's been struggling against the delivery which is turning away from him because he's a right-hander. So basically he has been getting out against the left arm orthodox as well as the right arm leg spin. So these are the two points that we do see, because I think Prabath Jayasuriya will be a definite player to play against him, like we discussed in the previous segment. So I think definitely he can capitalize on this against Aiden Markram. So mainly the delivery, which is going to be pitched in the good length and turning away from him. So he has been getting out when he was trying to cut, by nicking, or hitting straight to the core point, or else sometimes he has getting bowled. He has been getting bowled to this delivery when it was pitched between the leg side, and then turning to the right right side of those stumps. So then he has been getting bowled by missing the ball when he was trying to cut it. So these are the few points that we can highlight, and definitely Sri Lankan left arm orthodox veteran can capitalize on this one. So when I'm highlighting this one, Rakit and Cham, so who do you think that the bowlers who have been capitalizing on him all this time? Not specific to the Test cricket, so you can give me a answer by considering any of the formats.
Yeah, it's a tough one to answer. I'll go first, Jen. It's not sure it's correct. I'd go with since it's left arm orthodox and leg spin, we would go for Adam Sampa.
Adam Sampa of Australia, yeah. What about you, Champ? Any thoughts from you? And
Yeah, so being a right-hander, he's vulnerable for any leggy that the ball is taking away from him. So I would say Brangan Hera. I don't know. He didn't play on this time, sorry. I would say, how about Rashid? Adil Rashid?
Adil Rashid, yeah.
Yeah.
I think both of the these players amongst them, but I think Jack Leach has done really better, compared to other bowlers against him, particularly in Test cricket. And also, yeah, Adil Rashid is there, and also when it comes to Bangladesh, Taijul Islam, he has bowled really well against him as well. And also, Wanidu Hasranga has dismissed him in a few occasions with the same kind of delivery. And in fact, he was a part of his hat tricks in 2021, similar. Against similar delivery as well when he was trying to cut, so he got out. So so this time around, I think our highlighting factor is that definitely Prabath Jayasuriya to capitalize on that. So that's the whole reason why we thought of highlighting this one in today's segment. So you can see now on the screen kind of a scenario that he got out to a similar delivery of a bowler. So yeah, with that, I think we can conclude this segment. So we can quickly come back to you guys with our last segment, which is the Rookie on the Block. Welcome back, guys, to our last segment of the day, Rookie on the Block. So this time around, so we thought of bringing yet another Sri Lankan player who can definitely dominate in the world cricket in time to come. He's none other than Nipun Dananjaya. So this bloke did captain Sri Lanka under 19 back in 2020 during the World Cup, which is played in South Africa. And also he's a left-handed batsman. And the other significant point is that he can bowl some part times. He can roll his arms, right arm orthodox or right arm or spin bowling. So those are his attributes. And also when it comes to his run getting skills, so he has been a prolific run getter in Sri Lankan first class as well as List A, and also he has been contributing fairly in the T20 format as well. So with regards to Sri Lankan domestic as well as some Sri Lankan A tours. So Sham, what do you have to say about this bloke? I think definitely you should have, noticed about this guy's performances. What are the memories that you do have about Nipun Dananjaya?
Yeah, first thing comes to my mind is like his performance on the 22 to under 19 World Cup in South Africa. I think he did a reasonably good job with captaincy as well as his batting. I can't remember doing much bowling, him doing much bowling, but certainly batting. He held one end, so he didn't made a sparkling performance that time. I can't remember or recall. But I think like whatever short innings he had played, he gave some like highlight, like, all right, this could be a potential player who could play for Sri Lanka. And then looking at his stats, I mean, he got a very decent average across all three formats. And then strike rate, I would think like in modern T20s, it's 120 is fine, but it could be better because with the current format, I think he could likely to be replaced to our test format. And then looking at, people who are now getting aging, like Dimuth Karunarathne, Chandimal, and then Matthew. So he could be a shadow player. He could build as a shadow player to take place one of them. And then because he's opening as well, so in some of the teams, so he could take up opening role in our future lineup.
Yeah, cool. So, Rakita, shall we quickly look at his stats also and see
Yeah,
how far he has been
yeah,
performing up to this point in time?
yeah. So Nipun is already 24 years old. So he's having 45 first-class matches with 67 innings. Nearly he has scored 2,700 runs. And he has a double century as well, 600s to go with the 1450s, and a great average of 41.37. And his strike rate is also commendable for a first class innings. It's nearly 60. And these day matches, he has 50 matches and scored over 1,500 runs, and highest being 127 not out. And he has 4 centuries and 10 half centuries. And his average is again a respectable 42. And T20s as well, he has scored 446 runs with the highest being 80 unbeaten. And average is around 23. And his strike rate, like Chan mentioned, it's bit below 120. So that's about his batting skill. But in bowling skill, I think he's been mainly used as a part-time, I think, based on his stats.
Yeah.
His first class career, 45 matches is only taken on 11 wickets. And list A matches also, he has taken 16 wickets in 50 matches, but his average is 19.31. For a part-timer, I think that's a good average, but kind of it can be misleading as well. Might be he's been used as based on the condition. He might be used, and that also can be considered for this kind of a low bowling average. But you never know. Since he's taken wickets, we can guarantee that he's a useful player to have in the level. So those are the stats from Nipun Dananjaya. And I think based on these analysis plus the things that Cham has mentioned, Prasad, so from your view, what do you think the best format suits for Nipun?
Yeah, I think in next couple of years' time, definitely Sri Lankan cricket should try to use him for the Test cricket first up, I would say, because definitely Dimuth Karunarathne will be coming to an end of his career in next year or so, maybe, I mean, after the next year. the worst case. So we should think of a like-for-like replacement for him. So this bloke is, I mean, this bloke has been playing as an opener, mainly the first-class cricket, and also he's a left-hander. So I think he's a pretty much like-for-like player for Dimuth Karunarathne. And addition to that, so it's a bonus always that he can roll his arms, like I said. So I would go for Test cricket with him first up, and then we can see where he fits into the white ball cricket. But I mean that is definitely in the secondary level. But in the first up, we should look into the red ball cricket with him, and to see whether he can open the batting along with Pathum Nissanka in time to come. So that would be that should be the plan of Sri Lankan cricket. So yeah, let's hope him all the best and wish him to continue his good performances in time to come and to flourish Sri Lankan flag in years to come for sure. So I think that's pretty much it as far as our this segment is concerned, as well as our full episode is concerned for today. So I think it will be an eventful week to be started from tomorrow as far as the cricket is concerned in overall perspective, as well as Sri Lankan cricket is concerned as well, because Sri Lanka versus South Africa series is starting on Wednesday. So everybody is eyeing on that one. So definitely I think we can have some days catch up as we can during the test matches, Rakita and Champ. So let's see how it goes so we can come to our viewers. So hope you all enjoyed in today's podcast, and thank you, Cham, and thank you, Rakita, for today's contribution. So I hope that Cham enjoyed with us in his very first appearance with us today. So we do believe that we gave you good things to your knowledge today. So be with us in the next time around as well. So till then, bye for now.